Welcome to Scotland in May. Look at it. Cape Wrath, you're not beating us.
Say goodbye to the bog.
This is brutal. Well, good morning from a chill Bothy. And what a place to wake up to. Look at that. It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm not going to go in the Bothy and wake people up. But there it is. A chul or a chew. Oh, morning. So yeah, signs of life now. Me and Darren pitched down there. Just see Darren. A few lads here. A couple round the back. There's actually a toilet here now. Right. I think we're going to have some cereal and a brew. And then we'll get going. Welcome to day 3 of the Cape Wrath Trail. Right, okay, all packed up. That's us leaving a chul Bothy. We did ask a couple of Scottish fellas what the proper pronunciation is. And one of them said a chew, one of them said a chully, and one of them said a cule. So take your pick, but we're leaving it anyway. So sunglasses on, sun cream on, midgie spray on because the midges are out, and we've put waterproof socks on today because we have got a bit of a river crossing. So we're going to head to Sully's Bothy, which is about 8 or 9 miles away, and then once there we're going to carry on and try and get to the rock face, or Lord of the Rings as people have been calling it, and camp there for the night. It's doubtful we'll get to Barrisdale Bothy, that's 16 miles away, and today is meant to be quite a tough day. So not that there's an easy day on the Cape Wrath, but there you go. Right, let's get going. Right, so we've reached the rickety bridge that is no more. It's been filled in. Still looks a bit sketchy though. You won't want to end up down there. Can't even see the bottom. So we're going to carry on in a minute over a couple of people there. They're doing the Cape Wrath and into the woods. Darren's putting a bit of the old Luco tape on his foot. We're 1.5 miles from camp, so right, let's get going and into the woods. Right, so that's us out the woods. We are now heading along here and over that way, and then eventually we should go past a couple of lock-ins. It's quite steep, the wood. You seem to be going up all the time. And very dark, and there's a river flowing through it where you actually cross, but it was bone dry, so I don't know what that would be. There's been a lot of rain because you could see where the water had been right up the banking. Yeah, I think the hot weather is tiring, but it's making the little river crossings a lot easier. We're just going across them. Right, keep going. How stunning is this? Loch and Moeen, 2 locks. run into each other. There's a boat down there. How on earth did they get that here? There's a couple of people down here that we keep leapfrogging. There's a couple of guys behind us as well. Despite the remoteness of the trail, there are people on it. So yeah, we keep leapfrogging them. This is stunning, absolutely stunning. Right, so we've come to our river crossing, little marker cairn here, so we're going to cross here. I imagine on a wet day this will be a very different story, but yeah, it's only about 6 inches deep, so it's not a problem. And then we're going to take the path up, which goes up and then over that side, and then we'll start heading down to Suley's. Right, let's get across this. So we've just come around the corner, we got our first view of the sea lock at Suley's Bothy. So we're just going to make our way down here. Path's a little bit intermittent, 1 minute's there, then it's gone. You can see it ahead there. Right, let's make our way down. Just stop for a second to look at this. Look at that coming down. Beautiful. That's a long way down into that gorge. Disappears right the way down. So we have just descended from up here. Still got a bit to go yet. Can just make out Suley's Bothy in the distance, it's there. Somewhere there's a bridge that we need to cross yet. I can't see it yet. And here it is, the bridge. It looks like it's been repaired. Thank goodness. Cool. It looks like this piece has been put in. It's a bit swayy, a bit wobbly. But yeah, I'm thankful it's here. I wouldn't like to try and get across that. I mean, today that'd be fine, but if that was in spate, it'd be very different. Alright. Keep going. Suley's Bothy. And this one's got a toilet as well. Must be something new that they're doing, because they all look quite newly built. I'd say that was built this year. Stops everyone digging holes, I suppose. Everyone poos in the same hole. Right, let's go and check this one out. There's actually nobody here. That's a first. Seen that on so many videos. Candles, bit of gas. Guidebook. Couple of bunks. It's a lot smaller than I thought. Some hand warmers. It's a lot cleaner than Corrie Hully. I would stay here for the night, I think, in this one. Yeah, it's quite a cool one, this one. And it's got such an amazing view outside. I mean, look at that. That's your view out the Bothy. That's just insane. Right, we're going to stop here for half an hour, I think. Darren's about 10 minutes behind me. He stopped to put some Leuco tape on his feet. Feels really weird to be here. It's really Bothy. How's your feet? Poorly. Yeah. Mine are wet.
Still got your waterproof socks on.
Yeah, can't tell if they're wet or sweaty.
It's sweat.
Right, quick 30-minute break there. Just chatting to a couple that are doing the Cape Wrath. They're not doing it all though. They're finishing when they get to Shield Bridge. So from camp to there was about 7 miles, and we left camp at 8 o'clock. And it was 1:30 when we got there, so we're not doing too bad for time. The tide is out, which is the way we planned it to be here around dinner time, or just after. It's about 2 o'clock now, quarter past 2. So we can make use of that and walk around on the beach rather than going up and over these crags, and then head over towards the bridge and then start making our way up. We think we've got about 3 miles left to do until we get to like the rock face, and then we're probably going to camp there for the night. Alright, let's get around this beach. Right, so this is a bit that's quite boggy. You can either hug the landscape and then cross the river further down, but we're going to chance it and go straight across. We can see the bridge in the distance and the ruins where people camp. Well, that was the breeze coming across that, no bog at all, and now we've ended up on a path. I think with the hot weather we might got lucky crossing this bit. Carnet Bridge, we made it. That wasn't too bad actually. Oh, nice cool breeze. So there's the ruins where I've seen people camping. So we're going to follow it up now and up around there. Yeah, the bog wasn't too bad. Got a little boggy towards the end, but wasn't too bad. Right, pick up this 4x4 track and then head on up. So we're in the middle of the jungly bit. See Darren up there. We're hugging the river. There is a path here. We've come from up there, come down over all these tree roots, rocks. You kind of make your way up, and then we're going around to the right. But yeah, you just got to watch where you put in your feet. And at the end of the day, this is the last thing you need. But we knew it was here. So all we can do is just get on with it, get it done. Right, looks like we're going that way. Right, keep going and then we'll get to the top of this. So after coming up by the side of the river and climbing up over all those trees and rocks, you're rewarded with this. The Lord of the Rings section, as people call it. Wow, what an amazing place. It's got like a little sort of beach. So this is going to be home for the night, and in the morning we've got to climb up there but we'll worry about that tomorrow. Oh. Right, I think we're going to find a pitch, get these tents up. Right, so we've got sorted. Darren's just finishing off. There's only really one sort of spot to pitch, which is here. You can just get 2 tents on it, side by side. But that will do. What a spot. Yeah, that is cool. There's a couple of plunge pools over here. So as soon as Darren gets finished, we're going to go over there and have a bit of a dip and cool off. Shame someone's had a fire, but there you go. But yeah, so tomorrow we've got to go up this. This is going to be a bit of a killer. Barrisdale Bothy is about 3 hours further on, so it's just a bit too far. It's currently 5 o'clock, or just gone 5 o'clock, so yeah, we're more than happy to camp here for the night. We'll tackle that in the morning. Right, as soon as Darren's sorted, we're going to go over there, have a bit of cooling off in the plunge pools, and then we'll get some tea, and I'll speak to you in a bit. We'll have a chat about today and do some map time. Right, so we've been and had a dip and got cooled off and everything got changed. Quite refreshing. The water was a bit icy cold, but yeah, it was nice and refreshing after another hot day on the trail. So yeah, another great day on the trail, but like I say, another hot day on the trail. We left a chul bothy around about 8 o'clock, and we got here just after 5, about 5:15 it was. My watch actually reset itself when we got to Sully's Bothy. So from a chul bothy to Sully's Bothy was 7.35 miles, and then from Sully's Bothy to where we are now was 4.6 miles, and it took us 4 hours to get from a chul bothy to Sully's Bothy, and then it took us 2 hours 20 to get from Sully's Bothy to where we are here. So obviously we stopped at the Bothy, Sully's Bothy and that, and we've stopped various times on the trail, took the rucksacks off, got more water and everything. It is really hot. We are suffering a little bit with the hot weather. Luckily there's plenty of water on the trail, and some of the bogs probably could have been a lot worse than what they are, and the river crossings have been so simple. We've just literally walked across them. A few inches of water, 6 inches of water, that's all they've been. So yeah, we are suffering a little bit with the hot weather, but it is benefiting us crossing the bogs and the river crossings. So yeah, right, let's do some map time. Right, okay, map time. So we left the chul bothy. We went straight across. We didn't come back up the forest to the 4x4 track. We literally just walked straight across. There is a path there. It's quite faint, but there is a path, and it brings you out onto this 4x4 track. We then followed it down and into the woods, and then we followed the path all the way through the woods. And then when we got to here, some people go up and come out of the woods and then follow it along. We decided with the dry weather we'll chance it and we'll stay in the woods, so we followed the little river which is there, and with the dry weather it was no more than a stream, so we followed that and then all the way up, and then we came out of the forest there and we could see the path here, this path here, and then we followed it all the way along, all the way up, following the river, and it gets really like big mountains either side of you. Absolutely amazing. Some of these mountains are just huge, and the scenery is just amazing. And we followed it all the way along, and then we got to the 2 lochs, Loch and Mawam, I think they're called, which run into each other. That was just, it was absolutely stunning round there, absolutely gorgeous. And then we got to here, and then that's where you cross the river. And again, because of the hot weather,
the river was only about 6 inches deep. So we crossed it there, and you can see the path on the opposite side. And on the river there's actually a cairn on one side and there's a cairn on the other side. If you're not looking for them, you'd probably walk past them and not see them, but the path does go up to where the crossing is. And then you go across, and then you start to go up and up and up and up, and then you get to about here, and then that's when you get the view of the sea lock here, which is absolutely amazing. And then you just sort of work your way down. There's a little bit of a scrambly bit, but it's nothing major. And then you work your way down, and then about here is where you go over the bridge, over the wooden bridge. It was a little bit wobbly, but it has been repaired, and it looks in better condition than what I've seen on other people's videos. And then you just follow it all the way down, and then you get to Sully's Bothy, which was really nice. It was quite clean inside. I'm not really a lover of bothies, but I would actually stay there. It was quite a nice bothy, and in front of it there was loads of places to pitch. And opposite as well, on the other bank, there was quite a lot of places to pitch, which is where I've marked off other people's videos and stuff. We got there about 1:30, and I'd looked for the tide times, and the tide is out between, I think it was about 12:30 till about 2 o'clock. So we timed it so we would get there for around that time, so we knew that we could walk round then. And it was a lot easier walking round rather than going up and over this bit here. So we went round on the beach, which was really nice, absolutely stunning. And then that's where we took our chance and we went across the boggy section. But again, because of the dry weather, it was absolutely fine. It got a little bit boggy towards the end where the bridge is. And then we went across Knoydart Bridge and where the ruins are. And then we picked up the 4x4 track and then followed it all the way up. So we'll continue on page 3. So the 4x4 track, it continues on up, all the way up. Here it got boggy, quite boggy really. And it is quite energy zapping, and we actually stopped about here where there's a little kink in the river and got some water. I think Darren took his socks and shoes off and soaked his feet, so we stopped there for about 20 minutes, and then we carried on, waded through the bog and then all the way up, and then we got to the jungle bit. I've actually wrote on jungle, and it wasn't too bad. You just got to be careful, look where you're putting your feet. And then eventually you come out onto this corner bit, and then you come out, and we are literally where I've marked on the map. And this bit here is that bit there. So that's my view out the tent tonight. And that's where we're camped. So in the morning we're going to follow it along a little bit, and then that's where we've got to go up and find this path here. And that's us. So another great day on the Cape Wrath Trail. So I'm going to have some tea. I'm on a chicken curry adventure food tonight. And I'm going to have a brew and stuff and have a chat to Darren because he's only the other side. And I shall see you all tomorrow morning for day 4 of the Cape Wrath Trail. See you tomorrow.
Well, good morning. All packed up and ready to go. What a place this was to camp last night. Absolutely stunning. If you're doing the Cape Wrath, this is definitely a place I'd consider stopping off at. And I know the camera won't do it justice. But yeah, really good night's sleep last night. Nice and quiet. We've woken up and it's a little bit overcast. So no sunglasses or sun cream this morning required, which might benefit us because we are heading up there on quite a steep climb out of here. So right, let's get going. Welcome to day 4 of the Cape Wrath Trail. Right, so we've hiked just over a mile from camp. You kind of go up and then along for about 3/4 of a mile, and then we've got to the bend in the river. So this is a section people get, a lot of people get it wrong. A lot of people end up going down there, following the river, and you end up crag fast, you can't go any further. That's the wrong way. So there's a stream here, and there's a stream just here, and we're in between. So this is the point where we have to go up and find the path that's up there, and then carry on down to Barrisdale Bothy. Right, let's get on with it. Let's get up there. Okay, so we made it out the Glen. Wasn't too bad. As you get higher up the path there, it disappears. So keep an eye on your navigation. There is a good marker though. This big rock with the tree. And this is the path you need to pick up. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. So we're now heading up and round and then down. But what a glen. I don't know if you make out snow on the mountain up there. Just little patches of it still. Yeah. Wow. Right. Onward. Just pause for a moment to look at the way we've come. So we camped down here where the rock face is, and then we followed the river all the way along. There's actually a load of deer down there, but I don't think the camera will pick them out. And followed the river and then come up. I've seen people come directly up this, but the way that we've come, yeah, it wasn't too bad. You either come directly up and it's a lot steeper, takes you a lot longer, more energy zapping, or you follow the river, get to the end where it bends, and then come up the shorter bit and pick up the path. And it's a fairly defined path now, going up. So that's why we're heading up and over this way. Right, one last look and then we'll get going. So we've just got our first sighting of Barrisdale Bay. And down there is the Bothy with the toilet, running water and electricity. Oh, luxury. Right, let's get down to it. Barrisdale Bothy. No rubbish collection, please take it all back out with you. No problem. This deer's not bothered by us. Quite happily munching on the grass. Bothy campsite. Oh, that's where you can camp if you want to. Bothy campsite, £5 per person per night. Car payments accepted at the office. So room in there. Oh, toilet and a sink. Another room here. Oh, that looks alright. I think this one's got electric as well, I'm pretty certain it has. Yeah. Charging up point. And a few bits that people have left. Random stuff. Lots and lots of gas canisters. Not a bad view. Right, we're going to stop here for about an hour, I think. Have a good break, charge stuff up. I think I'm going to use the toilet.
An hour?
And then, yeah, an hour. We're stopping here for an hour. And then we'll get going again.
I think the worst place to start for lunch.
What, like Wetherspoons?
Yeah.
Right, so an hour long break, or thereabouts. Barrisdale Bothy. The deer is a pet deer called Elliot, so that's why it's quite tame. Right, quite a useful stop off. Filled our water bottles up, used the toilet, had a brew, something to eat. Yeah, really good stop off point. Put a couple of quid in the donation box. Right, make our way to Kinloch Hourn. Right, so we've got to where the path splits. This is where we're going to go up, right by where the ruin is. If you go that way, it just comes to a dead end. Stunning views all around here. Right, up there. That's something you don't see every day. See the rocks where the roots were. Poor tree, it's fell over or been blown over. Right, keep going up here, up and over again. Over this, down, across this stream, and now we're going up and over this one. Don't know if you can make Darren out, and there's a bloke with a red rucksack further ahead. Oh, and there's people actually up at the top coming down, and down that one. And apparently that's the last up and down, and then it levels out. Whew. Gotta love the Cape Wrath. Never an easy day. The B&B and tea room at Kinloch Hourn. and it's closed. We didn't rely on it being open. Kind of pot would have been nice though. Right, 0.2 of a mile to where we're going to camp for the night. Right, so we've got pitched. Wasn't that far actually, past the Kinloch B&B. You come past it on the road here, and then you double back on yourself, and we were here. So it's just a patch of grass at the side of the 4x4 track. Two French lads have just turned up. They're doing Cape Wrath, and there's a Scottish fella down there. He's doing it as well. The guy in the red car's obviously not. He's just camping for a few nights. There's a little honesty box by the gate, so we'll put some money in there tomorrow morning or something. The way out, which we've noticed, is up here. If you can see the pylons in the distance, the path just below the pylons going up. Yeah, that looks steep. Everything's steep on the Cape Wrath and everything's up. There's not much down. So we're going to get out these clothes, get cleaned up, get the sleeping gear on, and then get some food on and a brew, I think. Darren's all sorted there, look. Are you happy?
This is happy.
That's happy?
This is my happy face.
That's your happy face?
Yeah.
So yeah, another tough day on the Cape Wrath. It's alright, I'll get sorted and then get something to eat, and then we'll have a chat about today and do some map time. Right, another great day on the trail again today. Stats wise, from leaving Lord of the Rings, or the Rock Face as people are calling it, it was, from where we camped, it was 6 mile from where we camped to Barrisdale Bothy, and that took us 3 hours 17 to get from where we camped to Barrisdale Bothy. And then from Barrisdale Bothy to where we are now is 7.28 miles, and that took us 3 hours 30 and 37 seconds. So you're looking at sort of 7 hours hiking. That's moving time, by the way. So not another bad day. From when we left camp, we basically followed the river, and I'll show you on the map in a minute. You've got two options. You can either go straight up, or you can follow the river all the way along, and then as it bends round, you end up in between two streams, or two burns as called in Scotland, and then you go up the middle of them. We took that option because it's obviously a shorter climb up before you then pick that path up, go left and then follow it up, and then you drop down to Barrisdale Bothy. So we stopped at the Bothy for about an hour, managed to get stuff charged up, battery packs and stuff, phone, a bit in the watch and everything. Used the toilet, which was quite welcoming. Had a bit of a swirl, and we managed to sort clothes out and bits and bobs in the rucksack and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely worth stopping. And then we put some money in the honesty box. You can camp there. I think it said it was £5 for the night to camp if you want to camp across the road. And then we left there. We carried on 4x4 track, and then you veer off to the right where the ruins are, and you go up. And then it took ages going along that section. It was just basically up and down, and the last up that we did, the sun come out and it was quite hot, so yeah, a bit exhausting going up and down all that today. And then you get on a 4x4 track, come past Kinloch Hourn B&B cafe, which was shut, although the Scottish lad who's camping further down, he said he walked past and there was a guy at the front, and he asked if he was open, and he said not really, but what do you need? And he said just a can of juice. So he bought a can of pop from there. So yeah, I wouldn't have minded that myself, but
we didn't. So tonight's tea is Thai green curry, which I'm just rehydrating. Expeditions Foods. Just made myself a brew. One problem we are now getting, it's not a major problem, there's nowhere to put your rubbish. So we are now accumulating bags of rubbish. Obviously Barrisdale Bothy had signs up everywhere saying don't leave your rubbish. There's no bins on the Cape Wrath Trail, so we've got to carry it with us. Hopefully when we get to Shield Bridge tomorrow we'll be able to get rid of it. So right, let's do some map time. Okay, so map time. So we camped at the rock face here with the little symbol, and then we left this morning and we followed the river, so the river was on our right. It was a little bit boggy, but it wasn't too bad. And then I've actually marked on the map here where I was going to take a bearing and go straight up, but because the bog wasn't too bad we just carried on, and we ended up where you don't turn right, and there's two little tiny streams or burns, and you get yourself in the middle of them, and there is actually a path, a very faint path going up. It isn't straight up like it shows on the map, it zigzags all the way up. So we followed it all the way up, and then as it gets to the top it gets very, very faint, and that's when we had to sort of check things to make sure that we were going the right way, because I have seen people go wrong here, down here where the river is, and I have seen people go wrong here. They've ended up turning right and going this way. I've actually wrote wrong way there on the map, but we went to the left the correct way, and then we followed it up, and then we got to about here, and that's when you can see Barrisdale Bay here as you start to descend down. It's quite a steep descent, and then it gets to about here and then it starts to level out. It does go on for quite a while, following it all the way along, but it's a really well defined, easy track, and followed it all the way down. Then we ended up at Barrisdale Bothy. I've actually wrote Bothy Toilet Electric on the map. So we stayed there for about an hour, and then we carried on. 4x4 track, very easy walking, lovely scenery over the bay here. Followed it all the way down, and then you get to some ruins, and I've put there turn right at the ruin. If you carry on it just comes to a dead end, so you can't actually go any further, so you know that you've gone wrong, so you need to turn around and come back. But where the ruins are, you basically turn right and you go up. It's fairly steep, but it's not too bad. And then this section, it just went on and on forever, up and down, all the way along. I've actually wrote hard there. All the way along, up and down, all the way along here. And then eventually you drop down to like a bit of a road, and then you follow the road all the way along past the B&B that's actually shut, the Kinloch Hourn one, and then you keep on going. Sorry, that's there, the B&B. You keep on going past the B&B there, which has got the little cup on it, and then you keep going past that, and then we could actually see the guy using the car with the tent. We could actually see him pitched here as we were on this side of the road. So we came here, sharp left, and then we're pitched right there where it says Kinloch Hourn, and it's got the little tent symbol. There is an honesty box, as I said earlier, so we're going to sort some change out and some money and put something in the honesty box. So tomorrow we've got the steep climb out, which is up here, and then make our way to Shield Bridge, where we'll either stay at Shield Bridge campsite or we'll carry on to more of it. We're planning to carry on to more of it, but it is meant to rain tomorrow. in the morning, and then it's meant to rain again in the evening, so we're just going to see how far we get. We'd like to go in the cafe, Pit Stop Cafe, and have some proper food in there. And the other sort of problem I've got is I'm now into bag 6 of my snacks. So I bought 8 bags. Tomorrow is day 5, and I'm sort of a bag ahead, if you will. So we're gonna have to call into Kinsale Crafts and get some more food. So right, I'm gonna drink my brew and have my Thai green curry, and I shall see you all tomorrow for day 5 of the Cape Wrath Trail. See you tomorrow.